Good evening. Those of you that came to the meeting last month, my husband went out and bought this. And he has used Steve Siemer's words that we are starting here because we are a lean, mean township machine. It's on the gavel. So, there we go. Welcome. As mentioned last month, we are changing up the start of our meeting. Some months we will have an invocation from an interfaith leader. Some months we're going to just start with kind words from the residents that we help in the community. I'm going to obscure a name, but we got a lovely email from someone who was very complimentary about Milton Township. This were her exact words. Milton Township was a wonderful experience. It was worth the wait. Our volunteers here are very helpful and wonderful. I got all the help that I needed. So we're real proud of the work that the staff does, and if we could give them a quick round of applause to start our meeting. With that, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're willing and able to stand, and Paula, if you could lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Trustee McGrath. Clerk Bailey, could I ask you to take roll call?
Yes. So, Trustee Pitts.
Here.
Trustee McGowen.
Here.
Trustee, she's absent. Trustee Siemer.
Here.
Supervisor Buffy, Higgins-Beard.
So many names. Here.
Okay. Everybody, and Trustee McGrath is absent.
Yes. Thank you. The agenda was available online. I will make just a side comment here. We are trying desperately to save trees. So we are making less and less packets. If you are somebody who absolutely has no access to the computer and printing abilities, we're happy to make you a copy. But the packets in the back are getting longer and longer, so we're just trying to push you to look online. If I could have the group, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd so move.
Great. A second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion on the agenda? Okay. All those in favor of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed? All right. Onward we go. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on June 10th, 2025. I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Thank you. Trustee Pitts?
Second.
Second for Trustee Siemer. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. So moved. An approval of the claims. Our claims for this month totaled, and claims for those in the audience, that is the bills we approve monthly. Claims this month were high. It was $1,624,016.98. I want to note for the clerk that of that, one check was for Schroeder Asphalt for a large highway project, constituting $1.146 million of that. So it was a pretty typical month in spending other than this project, which we're happy to support. So approval of the claims, if I could entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the claim.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Oh, sorry, roll call on this one. Clerk Bailey?
Okay. Trustee Pitts.
Yes.
Trustee McGowen.
Yes.
Trustee Siemer.
Yes.
Supervisor Buffy, Higgins-Beard.
Got it. Yes, aye. All right.
Okay, motion passed.
We move into public comment. As noted in our meeting last month, there is a limit to 3 minutes per person. You're called in the order that your comment is requested, and we will stop public comment at 30 minutes total, so 10 speakers or so. Does anyone have a public comment for tonight? If you'd like to approach the podium, we're happy to hear you. Going once, going twice. All right, we will move on. For the chairwoman's report, we tonight have an exciting proclamation. We have someone in our community who's made a big impact. I will read the proclamation, but I would like to invite Trustee McGowen to make a few comments about Donald A. Sender.
Well, today we're here to honor a friend, a mentor, and a former Milton Township trustee, Don Sender, who served the Milton Township Board from 2000 until 2004. And Don just celebrated his 94th birthday. Don has been living in Wheaton for 67 years, and he's married to Ruth, raised 7 children, and tonight some of his family members are here. Bob and Mary Lou, granddaughter Melissa, great-granddaughter Lola, and Pete and Jenny.
I snuck in.
I'm sorry.
Granddaughter Donica.
Yeah, Donica.
Don Sender, he's a historian. He did a lot of research on all the cemeteries in Milton Township. That's how I met him. A lot of cleanup also, with the help of many neighbors to help out. Don did a lot of burials in Pleasant Hill Cemetery. In fact, he did 6 burials. And he was instrumental in getting 2 fences put up in the cemetery. Don Sender joined the Army at the age of 17. I think he had his parents' signature. In 1949, and he became a cryptographic technician in the Korean War. He served 37 months as a ASA, Army Security Agency installation in Japan. He had an honorable discharge in 1954 with the rank of Staff Sergeant. Don Sender served as president of the DuPage County Veterans Commission for 6 years and vice president to the present today. Don resigned in 2024 in the Wheaton Alcohol and Tobacco Commission. And he was also a high school teacher in Wheaton Central and Wheaton North. So he was very active in his lifetime. So thank you, Don, for serving in the military too.
So, as the supervisor, I would like to offer this award of merit presented to Donald A. Sender in appreciation of outstanding service as a cemetery commissioner and trustee. We thank you greatly. July 8th, 2025. We're going to walk around and take a picture with you, and then if you don't want to stay and hear about our audit the whole meeting, you'd be able to go. We invite you to stay. Stand up if that's possible, or we can move it.
Yeah, I read that. And then he sent me
You want your wife from this? No, you want? No, come on. Rose says no. Okay. No. I listen to you.
I think that
Big cheese grandmother. Good. Can I shake your hand, sir? Thank you.
Take a picture of that one. Take it out.
Thank you. We really appreciate your help. Thank you, sir. One more round of applause. All right. Now we'll shuffle back in. The world's smallest room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
You're
Excuse
welcome.
me, Supervisor.
Yes.
May I just add one comment? My father worked with Don Sender as a teacher at Wheaton North High School. And as you know, back in the day, many of the teachers had summer jobs. And Don worked construction, laid concrete, and packed the sidewalk at 257 Oak Street in Elmhurst. Is still there with the boys' signatures, but Don wrote them in. He wouldn't let the kids write their signatures.
That's fine.
And, you know why? Of course. When you do that as signature,
Thank you. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to continue our meeting. And because we've had a little reshuffle here, I'm going to do one other shuffle, which is if I could invite Imam Fahmi Abdul Kawi to come on up. He had an interfaith blessing to start us with. We are so happy you're here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Should I stand here?
Yeah, if you want to stand maybe by Dan so you don't have your back to anyone. It's really hard in this room.
Here's okay?
Here's fine. Yeah, sure. Please.
It's better to see the people.
Yeah, see the people. Don't worry about us.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. And in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. It's my honor to be here with you. I'm not going to take more than 2 minutes. I'd like to introduce myself first. My name is Fahmi Abdul Kawi. I'm from Egypt originally. I'm here at Wheaton 1.5 years. And I'm so honored to at that area. It's a very good and appropriate area, mashallah, for me and my family. My kids, they are going to schools, Wheaton North, Washington Elementary School, and they are interesting. They are very, very happy at that community. Secondly, I'm very happy if I'm delivering or sharing with you 2 points. The first one, my friend visited me 2 days ago, and it was one of our occasions. And he asked me, what is that? We served food, and we invited many people to come, so I told him that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he arrived at the city of Medina, he saw the Jewish people, they are fasting a specific day. Fasting means praising our God. And he asked it, what the reason for that? So they told him, the people of Medina, especially the Jewish people, they are fasting that day, praising their God, because God served and secured Moses at the same day years ago. He protected Moses and the believers from Pharaoh at the same day. And because of that, Muhammad, peace be upon him, said to his people, we have to do the same way. We have to praise our God. We have to say Alhamdulillah or thank you, God, because Moses is my brother. This is the occasion we met together at the Islamic Center of Wheaton a few days ago. Secondly, in the Quran, the book of Muslims, and this is the second point. Allah or the God says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, I have created you from male and female, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا, and I made you nations and tribes, لِتَعَارَفُوا, to know each other. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ, the best among you, not those they have more money, not those they have luxury car, but those they have tranquility and peace in their heart. Those, they are the best among you, and this is what we are looking for. We are looking for cooperating, working with each other, helping. We are human beings. You are my brother. You are my sister. It's my honor to be with you at this blessing and beautiful city. Thank you very much. And I'm so sorry for coming late. I got lost. This is my first time to come here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry because I have many things to do and the message now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Goodbye. Nice
Thank
to see you all.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Don't get lost going on.
Dan, I need this slide so you have a second.
This is my business card. I will let some here if you need to reach me anytime. You are all welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So moving on with the chairman's report, women's report, which is running a little long here. Our first 90 days. I am going to continually use this as we look at this first early part of our work. If we go to slide 2, I had told you all that I would be working on a listening tour, team building, safety and facilities, communications, and audits with finances. So in some updates that aren't necessarily in the written part of the slides, I have been working to orient myself to all the parts of the supervisor's job, if you go to the next, as well as working with new partners. This includes a few exciting things. If you want to follow me, Milton Supervisor Buffy's on Instagram. There's a lot of photos there of what I'm up to. We also have been working hard on our Facebook for Milton Township. I undertook a contract and insurance review. Our insurance at the township appears to be in great order. The contract review is not fully done, but I did want to make you all aware if anyone receives a ticket in the name of Milton Township for distracted driving, that is a scam. That is not a contract that is enforceable or in any way related to Milton Township. The Attorney General's Office, the DuPage Attorney General's Office is now investigating. We've had about 12 people ticketed for distracted driving. That is not a contract we have in our pile that we are honoring. So please tell your friends too. Milton can't give tickets. That's not part of our function. I've been over to Clark Mosquito. The first spraying did go on. Are our slides coming back to me? Yeah. Clark Mosquito is exciting. They actually do a lot of preventative spraying on bicycle to kill larvae. They also fog, as we're all familiar. And this township runs the mosquito district that incorporates all of Glen Ellyn. So if you live in Glen Ellyn, I'm your mosquito gal. Then there's also the unincorporated areas adjacent to Glen Ellyn. If you live in Wheaton, you are in a different mosquito abatement district, but you use the same provider. So Clark is the also taking care of you. Some great partnering opportunities, including recently meeting with Valley View residents through Representative Costa Howard's offices about their water service. We were answering questions about township. They were asking questions about the private company that provides their water service and the troubles they're having there. On facilities, just a couple things. We've had some unexpected challenges. If you've been in the building, our AC has been a little bit troubling, and same with our fire control panel, so we're addressing that. On finances, later you will find that we are finishing our FY24 audit. We have engaged a lovely firm for the 25 audit, and we will also be kicking off the forensic audit. So all good there. In following up on Mr. Drew's savings discussions, Commissioner Drew has actually agreed to help us maintain our vehicles, so there will be a great savings on vehicle maintenance by the Highway Department helping us with that. We will be paying them a very small wage per hour to work on the vehicles. And we'll also be considering a motion later in this discussion for e-pay, for paying some bills online, which should be saving money in late fees and just frankly time. I think our accountant's going to be a much happier woman. Lastly, on programs, a couple things. We'll talk in a few minutes about general assistance and emergency assistance. Those levels have been updated. The medical closet that we loan out is overburdened with things right now, and that's what I'll leave you with. If you know anyone who needs a crutch, a cane, a wheelchair, or a walker, a crutch, a cane, a wheelchair, or a walker, please come get them. We have 61 items out in the community, but we have another 47 here in the building, and we don't need them here. We need them out being used. So those are my general updates. A lot of that is on that first 7-week slide that I don't know that we've seen. I will keep updating that as the 90 days goes on. We're about halfway through the first 90 days.
You want to see another slide?
Go back one for just a minute. Back.
It won't go back.
Okay, well, we're happy. Moving on. The next thing on the agenda is to talk about general assistance. I'd like to invite one of our staff members, Sheila, up. She is our Director of General Assistance. I'm going to frame out for her a starting point, and then she's going to talk about some changes. So if possible, Clerk Bailey, if we could get to slide 4, and then if you could press slideshow up at the top to the left.
Present.
Perfect. From current slide. So I think everyone in the room probably knows that they pay property taxes. Township is 1.71% of your bill. So for my home, just as an example, about $500 comes to the township for my home. That is broken into several different allocated funds, okay? And when we talk about the budget here, often quickly about these things. We have the general fund. So the general fund are all those things on the right. The Milton Township Town Fund, that pays for a lot of the things that I've been speaking about. General assistance, which is help that goes directly to residents. The assessor's office, which is a separate budget within the township fund. A special police district for our unincorporated areas, and then our retirement fund for the staff. In addition, your property taxes, it's not even pennies on the dollar, also pays for the mosquito abatement district. The town road fund is a separate levy for the roads and bridges, the permanent roads, and the IMRF. And then lastly, the mental health. So those 4 subheads all roll into that 1.71%. Am I making sense? I know I'm not allowed to ask questions, but okay. So within that, we have monies that come in, and we allot them to general assistance, okay? So the monies that come into the Milton Township Fund, we allocate to general assistance, for instance. Money stays in that area, so if we don't use it, it is part of a general assistance reserve, okay? We also have a capital reserve, like many organizations, a savings fund for the township. There are rules around how much money you can have in that reserve. You can only have 2.5 times your annual budget. And there have been voiced concerns in the community that we aren't spending enough on our residents in general assistance and emergency assistance. So for that reason, Sheila, if you want to come up and take a seat with us for a minute. Sheila's prepared a couple slides on where things stand right now, and this is really meant to be educational. And the other statement I'll make is you will notice we won't take a vote on this because this is one of the very few things that the supervisor has the purview of setting the general assistance and emergency assistance levels. There's very few other things in that case. You'll watch us vote on many, many things. So if you go to the next slide, Dan, I'll turn it over to Sheila. You ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My title is Director of General Assistance, but it's, again, an umbrella. So there's lots of different programs, and we did a little PowerPoint just to kind of go over some of the guidelines and just some of the details. It is a very specific program. It is state mandated. We are required to have it. So it is for individuals not eligible for any other state or federal programs. It is for individuals that are experiencing financial hardship and they have no other income. It is funded through the levy. So it is given, each township has the allotted amount that comes to the township. It is mandated by the Illinois Public Aid Code. So we are required by law to have this available. And my supervisor is the one that oversees the whole program, and she makes the ultimate decisions, and she is ultimately responsible for this program. So under the general assistance, it is for individuals that need basic maintenance needs. So food, shelter, utilities. It is not a long-term program. It is an interim program while they are waiting for Social Security Disability or Social Security SSI, or they are looking for employment. So usually the grants are less than 2 years. Social Security Administration, as you can imagine, does take its time reviewing individual cases for clients that are seeking long-term disability benefits, okay? So the client would need to come in every single month for a redetermination, and there is quite a bit of paperwork, and it's quite lengthy. every client would be on the program until they are either self-sufficient by getting Social Security disability, or they have found new employment and they are moving
Can I
on.
ask you a question?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Are these requirements in the paperwork required by state law?
Yes. Yes. It's a binder. It's a handbook. It is regulated.
So every township does it the same? It's in
Yes.
the paperwork?
Yes.
Okay.
Statewide. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it is not. It is very strict. Yes. It's very big.
The lane
it's
is
very,
narrow.
Yes. The lane is narrow, and these are the guidelines, and you
Okay.
must follow. Yes. Within general assistance, you can have emergency assistance. It is not required by the state law. It's optional depending on the township and the amount of levy that they have. However, we do have that here. It is for individuals and families, so this is a wider group of people. Alleviate life-threatening circumstances. So that's an eviction, that's disconnection of water, sewer, electricity, any kind of significant event that they need to have just to maintain their life. Assist individuals obtaining self-sufficiency. So again, it's a moment of time. It's just a help. And it's also once a year. So that is again another binder. Another. Most townships have the emergency assistance. Again, comes from the state level, and we can modify it. But most of the guidelines are again in the binder from the state. So the next slide is kind of an overview of DuPage County. And this is where Buffy and I have reviewed what is provided for each township and what we felt that we can make improvements on. And the reason we made improvements based upon fair market rent has increased, just the cost of living, taxes have gone up. It is just very expensive for families to kind of keep their head above water. So there's two different programs here. The top would be general assistance. So as you can see going across, every township has a different grant level amount. And
How's that determined?
The supervisor.
Okay.
The supervisor determines it. It also, the base level needs to be above what the Illinois Department of Human Service requires, which is $439. And there's only one township that offers that amount, and I believe that's Downers Grove. But that is a grant that would be to an individual, and that would be money that they're allotted that month to survive on. And most people cannot survive on $430.
That is covered by the supervisor's discretion.
That is also the supervisor's discretion. That is correct. And so we have increased it for the surrounding area. We are well within the guidelines. We're a little bit lower if you want to look at the other counties around us. So that's another reason why we decided to increase it, and that just helps me to be able to make sure that the clients have what they need to stay afloat and to stay within their home and they're not being evicted. At the bottom was emergency assistance. And so that was also something that Buffy and I reviewed, and we increased it as well. So starting, instead of emergency assistance grant for one person in one household, used to be $600. So if a client called me and they owe, $2,100 in rent, I would just do $600, but I also need to help them kind of through other agencies and other programs get the difference. So we have increased it from $600 to $800. So all the way down the chart, we have increased it $200. Again, that is based on fair market value, the rent increase, and just our ability and desire to help citizens maintain their home and to have impactful services that really do benefit our community. So, yeah. So it's our privilege and honor to support our staff and our community and our constituents. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me or come and call me or come to the township.
I'm rotating the table just in case people didn't get to see it while it had its moment in the sun.
It's 2 minutes.
Yeah. And then to close, I think the other thing Sheila does very well is there's an array of other things in the Human Services report of ways that we help residents. So this is not all that she does for just a few people.
No. So we also offer things like LIHEAP. We work in partnership with the county. We have got to use a NICOR comment. that's emergency on that level. We're also a Salvation Army service extension site, and that is for a whole plethora of things. That could be rent, mortgage, clothing, household, whatever the clients need. We also do NIPER energy aid, shield of caring, NIPER sharing applications, and we also are referrals. So if we have clients that need, say they need furniture, that could be sharing connections. There's also SNAP benefits. I can help the clients apply for SNAP. So I would recommend, if you know anybody, just tell them to call us.
If they're struggling, we're here to help.
Yep. And that's it. That's
Thank
all
you,
I
Sheila.
have. Thank you.
All right, my final item. I would like to entertain a motion. Oh, I don't need to entertain a motion. I am going to appoint a supervisor pro tem. My Latin isn't so good. So this is literally in the case that I am absent, and I actually know that I will be absent next month. This person would be asked to chair the town meeting. So I would like to appoint Larry Pitts, if he will accept.
I accept.
All right. So if it's not my face, it's Larry's that you're dealing with at these meetings as chair. All right. That's all I have. We'll move on to reports. The town clerk first.
Okay.
Clerk Bailey.
All right, so again, I want to re-emphasize that we'd like you to take a look at the packets and information that will be online instead of depending on just having a paper agenda and information. So I want to remind the trustees to complete the OMA and FOIA training, or OMA training by August 1st. And so from what I've done, I've attended events from Memorial Day and July 4th at the cemeteries. On June 17th, the Township Officials of Illinois New Officials Training. I'm responding to and organizing FOIAs. We've got at least 6. Actually, I'm not doing most of the work. Other people are doing most of the work, including Abby. We're looking into ways to increase transparency, such as live streaming meetings and posting videos and posting meeting information online. And I had a good time at the July 4th parade with Mike, Drew and his truck, and Larry and Steve. And we were handing out something that wasn't quite candy, a little bit healthier than that, to the kids along the route in Wheaton. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Trustee McGrath, do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Trustee Pitts?
I had a hell of a time keeping up with the truck. I'm sorry. The parade was very fast-paced this year, which was a good thing. Kids didn't get too much
So
sugar.
you don't walk at 5 miles an hour? Yeah, nobody does.
I don't jog like Dan. But aside from that, I just wanted to report on the Pleasant Hill Cemetery event. Went very well. We had a Aurora band playing, singers. It was great. It was a very nice event. And in the future, take a look at the events and consider coming to one. The next one is going to be at St. Stephen's, and that's going to be August 23rd. And so consider doing that. There will be a mass first, then the event, and then we'll have lunch. And that's it.
Wonderful. Trustee Siemer?
I've had a few discussions with Abby, and I've talked to Buffy about it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it once the forensic audit starts. But one of the challenges we have with an organization this size is separation of duties and internal controls. Buffy has access to QuickBooks, as does Chris's clerk, Casey. I will recommend, and maybe it needs to be a motion at the next meeting, that the Finance Committee have access to QuickBooks, just so we have other people. Just view access. All of the entries should be made by Abby. There should never be a situation where only one person has control of the books and views the books, so we need to spread that out a little bit more. The forensic audit, I'll talk a little bit about more about that when we get to that. The other thing Abby and I talked about is currently we have 15 bank accounts Our discussion feels like 6 or 7 might be enough. Lower? Well,
6 or 7 sounds like a good number to me.
yeah, that'll get us down to payroll and one for each fund, and then all the little funds can be together. I mean, there was some rationale for 6 or 7. The parade, I wrote, it was great. I would encourage everyone to attend next year. I also know for sure the candy will not be on the back of the truck. It'll be in wagons for us. You should have seen us running behind this truck. If he would have stopped, we would have been unconscious. Because we're running, trying to fill up our bag. He's moving at 3 miles an hour, and we're filling up our bags so we can hand out the candy. It was a little chaotic, but it was a joy. And people, somebody told me their kids get more candy at the parade than they do on Halloween.
I hear you. Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right. Do we have an assessor's report? Assessor LeVan?
I'm still here. Yes. We received our factor from the county a couple weeks ago. Factor goes on all the properties across all of Milton Township. So our factor is 1.0846. So they want all the residential properties, all the commercial properties. Now, technically, tax rate should drop pretty much in line with what the values are going to go up, depending on what taxing bodies are going to levy and if there's any referendums or anything. One of the issues we're really dealing with here in the assessor's office is the new Tyler program that the county spent, I don't know how many tens of millions of dollars on. The program is either not capable of, or Tyler's unwilling to provide us sales ratio studies. And our sales ratio studies, which we received from the old mainframe, we would receive them every month. Those sales ratio studies, they tell us how close we are from our assessed value to our market value. It is really an important data point that we need. The other problem is we don't get sales. So all the sales are going to the state, and if we get bad sales, the state's supposed to knock them out. Well, the state's not going to be able to knock out 102 counties of sales, go through and look at them. They're just going through, which is in essence increasing this factor. Last year, the factor, believe it or not, was 1.0864. This year, 1.846. Milton, we're the second lowest in DuPage County in factor. Again, this year. All the other townships are higher. I mean, until this Tyler program gets straightened out, which was sold to the county as this high-powered program that was supposed to solve all our problems, it's created a lot of problems for the assessors in all the townships. You know, pretty much works pretty well with the clerk and the treasurer. Does not work with the assessing offices. Of course, county didn't ask any of the assessors for their input on Tyler. If you look around, Tyler has issues in other states. We'll see what happens. Beyond that, we're looking to close our books sometime mid-September, end of September. There'll be a 2-week quiet period while the SFA puts everything together, does the publications, and then the 30 days will open for any individual to come in and either appeal their taxes, their assessment, and they should really come in and see us first, because if there's something we can do, we'll lower it right then, right there. So,
Thank you, Assessor LeVan, and I can assure everyone that we couldn't have a better advocate with the second lowest factor. That's a good thing in the county. We couldn't have a better advocate in you in trying to find a solution. So,
well,
thank
fortunately, you know, I have one deputy that has MLS, so we pull sales data from the MLS, but unfortunately, we can't knock out the bad sales. Yeah. The state, they look at everything as a sale as being the market. They say, well, that's what it's sold for, that's the market. Well, that's not true. But like I said, it's going to be a monumental task for the state to go through 102 counties and try to start knocking out sales, which they don't have any knowledge of at all. So we'll see.
So come see Assessor LeVan and tell people to do so if they have concerns.
Yeah, if they have questions,
about their
see us
assessment.
first, and then we can certainly go through.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Drew, do you have a report?
Yes. So last month I talked about the phone lines, and I'm happy to say they've been transferred over, and we should be saving that $2,500 a month. That's a good thing. We went to digital phone lines to get rid of the hard lines. I also talked about doing an overnight, extending the overnight parking ordinance year-round. I got some flack from one of our trustees who said that she's going to talk to the person that's kind of creating that issue, which is parking a landscape type trailer on the street year round. So she has a month to do so, or I'm going to start working on that. So just throwing that out there, Paula.
What do they do in the winter? It's already on the winter.
I don't know what they do in the winter, but right now it's parked on the street and it hasn't moved in a month. So, and I got residents calling and complaining, rightfully so, because they've got a 30-foot camper in their driveway, so they can't even pull it in their driveway. So that's part of the issue. But hopefully Paula gets that rectified for all of us. So you guys heard the large bill that we paid. That was for Butterfield West. The asphalt and concrete are completed. That's a portion of it. That's the concrete side of it. The asphalt bill will be coming probably next couple of weeks. We'll have to get that paid. Wheaton Ridge, we're going to be doing the concrete in Wheaton Ridge starting in a week or two. I'm thinking sometime next week the concrete guy will be out there. We're not going to do paving out there this year. We're going to push off the paving till next year on that in that location, because we got some other projects that have popped their head up we had to take care of. One of those projects we had to take care of is in Lincoln Hill, which is right across from Butterfield West, 22nd west of 53, and we had a giant sinkhole. One of my guys found a sinkhole probably the size of about 4 feet around, and it was growing because there's a sewer that runs through there that takes water from the whole neighborhood that seems to be running all the time. When they hooked the pipe together, the flange they used to connect them broke, and we had to dig down, open it up about 8 feet in diameter, and pour concrete to fix that flange so that we didn't have that sinkhole anymore. That, with the help of Triton Construction, they took care of that portion of it, and then we're going to take care of replacing the curb that had to be torn out and the asphalt there. Right now it's just stone, but we should have the curb work done probably sometime next week, and then the asphalt will come down the road when we start doing patching. I secured 30 loads of semi-grindings. That's any of you that have been driving on Butterfield Road or Roosevelt Road. That's the millings that are coming off that are being replaced. I know the contractor's doing it. They owed me a couple of favors, so they're throwing 30 loads of loads of grindings over to the yard. Our maintenance equipment building is a dirt floor. It's from like 1970. That might not sound like a big issue, but let me explain what that does to the equipment. We pay roughly $250,000 to buy a snow truck, have it outfitted with the salt spreader on the back, the plow on the front. Well, at the end of the night, when they go and park those, they park it in there because it has to be a heated area, and all that snow and debris melts off of there and goes right into the dirt, right? So the mud's not the issue. We can deal with the mud. But what happens is when you have a heated building, you get water, heat, it creates condensation. And condensation, water, and salts from trucks eats equipment up. It just rusts it out and eats it up. So what we're doing is we're digging down 6 inches. We're going to pull that dirt out of there, and we're replacing it with grindings to hopefully reduce some of that, what do I want to call it, rust that's happening to the trucks. It's just, you got almost $2 million worth of equipment parked in there, and you're letting the water eat it away. So we're working on that. Another project that we started, we've secured a engineering firm to go out, is Berry Street in Wheaton. They have water issues that just sits in the ditches. There's 2 houses that I swear we could put koi in there, and they had a permanent pond out there. It's funny, but it's very sad because it breeds mosquitoes, and that is never dry in front of these couple of houses. So I contracted an engineering firm to design an underground system. We're going to end up putting a manhole in front of everybody's house. The manholes are going to be 3 foot deep. I'm using 15-inch pipe. Those pipes will come in toward the top of that manhole, so every one of those manholes will be able to collect and hold water. Not to mention those 15-inch pipes will hold water as well. When we're done with that project, which hopefully should be by the end of September, the only thing they'll have left is a little belly in front of their houses. There'll be no more ditch there, and all that water will be held underground as it's moving to where it gets deposited downstream and with the water system. I think that's all I got.
Thank you. All right. SALT Committee, Chuck Smith, Chairman. And Chuck, I'm going to let you give your report and then make a comment at the end, if that's
sure.
okay.
Good evening. I'm real happy to announce that it's a go for our senior auto inspection. It'll be October 18th. It's the 3rd Saturday in October. I have a little concern with getting enough manning, particularly mechanics. I feel real good about that. Buffy's been great. She got me an additional certified mechanic, which helped. We got 5 of the 7 that we've had previously returning. We have a planning meeting August 6th so that we can get all of our police officers and key personnel involved so that we can get all of the items figured out as to who's buying what and who's handling what aspects. But we do our planning in August. We never have a senior meeting in August. What we do have in August is the National Night Out, and both Wheaton, Glen, Ellyn, and Carroll Stream have events. Carroll Stream is a huge one, over 2,000 people at that one. I might also mention with the auto inspection, you got a contact by the instructor from the Technology Center of DuPage. They were out last year, helped us with 12 of their students. The instructor teaches auto mechanics. He's going to be out, and he guarantees me at least 12 individuals. Lombard North Young Men's Service League contacted me today. They're all in again this year, so now we got to get to the Boy Scouts. I'm going out this week for information on that. So there's flyers out there for an auto inspection event to advertise it in the community. Got some pictures of a lot of our young folks that were servicing the seniors very happily last year. In September, the speaker, I've got Sue Davison from Glendale Senior Center. She's our expert in our area. She's a SHIP certified person that can counsel people on Medicare, which is always a big concern. There's a Medicare enrollment period. She's our go-to lady. She's an expert in that regard. So she will be our speaker in September. That is about all I have. I do have speakers scheduled through October.
And you have a meeting Monday?
And we do have a meeting Monday. Thank you for reminding me. There's been a lot of concerns by seniors that someone may have gotten onto the deed. There's been a lot of advertising about different commercial programs on that. I've got Liz Chapin from the DuPage Recorder of Deeds, who's going to be out speaking with her executive assistant. Let our seniors know what resources are there to preclude that from happening if someone gets in their deed. Particularly when we had our newsletter go out with different names on addresses. It was a big problem with the program that was written by the county. So hopefully it saves the concerns.
So anyone in the audience is welcome to join seniors and law enforcement together Monday 10 a.m. at the Glen Ellyn Police Department in their community room, which wasn't my announcement. My announcement is that unfortunately Chuck has also informed me that October, when he holds a meeting and this enormous car care auto event, will be his final month serving as our chair for seniors and law enforcement together. We will celebrate him at a later time. I am on an active search and working with the community to think of who could be a chair that even comes close to the dedication and the amount of clear love and hours you've given this program. So if you'll join me in just applauding Chuck for all the work he's put in as chair.
I appreciate the kind words. Buffy's been super supportive of SALT. It's been a pleasure. 19 years ago, I retired from U.S. Steel after 38 years of service, and I thought I was going into retirement, and I got involved with a whole lot of volunteer programs, so I've never really retired. So with 13 grandkids, my wife is saying, when are we going to really retire? So,
yeah, and I do get the sense your wife is sort of a big part of this retirement
yes.
push. But we'll see more at our October meeting, and we're really grateful for all that Chairman Smith is doing right now. So thank you. All right, Dave, I'm going to have you up as Director of Food Pantry and CERT. I'm watching the clock, though, on you. Because we're already running long.
I only worked with you, like a month and a half or something, and I know to be fast. But I'm coming by my buddy Dan here, because I have to, I can't.
That's fair.
Exactly. Compromise.
Yep.
Okay, so the food pantry first.
Food pantry.
Okay, food pantry is going really well. I'll keep it brief. I know there was a big bill that was passed. A lot of people are concerned. A lot of our clients are concerned. It is my goal, and it's the goal of everyone here, that no one in Milton Township will ever go hungry. We are going to fight like crazy to make sure we have enough food. We're already planning on if there are more people than we normally have, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. So nothing's going to take us by surprise, and we can guarantee you that no one's going to go hungry in Milton Township. So don't worry about that. Just some of the things we're doing. We got this going on right now. Back to school days. Everyone that comes to our pantry, 200 is it? Get free dental. The Chicago Dental Society Foundation's offered 1,800 dental checkups. So that's really cool that we're doing that. Debbie works tirelessly. That's the word. At grants. I'll get a text at 9 o'clock, and I just found a grant. She's doing on their computer nonstop looking for grants. She just got us recyclable bags and tons of stuff that just is helping our pantry grow and give our clients top of the line food and everything. So thanks, Deb. She's telling me to do something. I don't know.
Say go to CERT. Go to CERT.
Really? Okay. So anyway, CERT went really well this weekend. This is always the kind of the weekend where I get a little nervous. We do 2 fireworks and 2 parades, and we are well staffed. The police of Glen Ellyn and Wheaton told me to tell the board, thank you for the support you give our CERT team, that they couldn't have done any of it without us. So Paula, you were at a couple of those, and when you guys say stuff to whether clients or our volunteers, it means the world to me. You know, Buffy, you know everyone's name. I don't even know how you do it. There's some people I'm like, damn. And Buffy tells me. So the support from you guys is great. So thank you. And the class is starting in September for CERT. And we use the highway department, and we're always on that dirt. So I'm looking forward to September 4th. September 4th, the first in September, and then it goes for 4 weeks, the CERT class. So you can sign up for that if you want online. And we're going to have a new building to search. We do a big search for things in that building. And now it's going to be no dirt. Looking forward to that. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Was I fast enough there?
It was perfect.
They put in a lot of hours, Debbie and Dave. In fact, after the fireworks, I was shocked when I saw Dave there, because I was looking for blankets that were left over for Vinny, my potbelly pig. So he likes to sleep in his blankets at night. So I go through there at the park, and if they don't pick them up, then I take them. But anyway, he did a very nice job on that. And also, Yeah, I just want to praise Debbie and Dave for collecting all the retired flags. I was really impressed out there, that front of that building. It was just jam-packed with retired flags. I never thought that would be that high.
Thank
in
you,
amount.
Trustee McGrath. Thank you. McGowan, excuse me. Last but not least, our last report is the newly named Cemetery Commission Chair, Drew Ellis. If you give us a few comments.
I will give you a very brief comments. This morning, or earlier today, we had a meeting of the Cemetery Authority. Buffy, myself, Larry Pitts, Mike Drew, and Mike Zephron, and it was a fantastic meeting. It set some strategic direction for the Cemetery Authority, and it was a really good meeting. So we are having a meeting with the Archdiocese on the 15th. So again, it's just part of Buffy's campaign to kind of reach out and deal with some of our vendors and some of our partners related to the Cemetery Authority. I could tell you, I could kind of mirror the things that Larry talked about. Our Pleasant Hill event went very, very well. I would tell you that we had really good attendance in terms of trustees, with Mr. Pitts, with Paula, and then Dan Bailey. So again, I would suggest that everyone come to the next Cemetery Authority event, which is August 23rd, and it's a Catholic Mass to be followed by a remembrance and a picnic. So what people typically do, the township provides some sandwiches, and people bring a dish that people can pass, and it's a charming event, and and we always have really good attendance. So I think I'm under my 3 minutes, so I will sit down.
Thank you. All right. Very good. We're going to move on to our unfinished business. We have with us Brad Porter from Lauterbach and Amon, who is going to speak to us about the audit from FY24. I want to really emphasize this is an audit that ended March of 2024. This is something that this board inherited to complete and to work with the firm in its completion.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet all of you for the first time. My name is Brad Porter. I am the principal here on behalf of Lauterbach and Amon. I just so happen to oversee the township's financial statement audit process. Here to provide just a brief recap, 3 minutes or less, right? On the documents that we've issued.
That's for the public.
Yeah. Oh, shucks. On the documents that we've issued after the long-awaited fiscal year 2024 audit process. Before I begin, I'd like to give a special thank you to Abby, who I hear wears many hats around here in the conversation tonight, as well as the new administration for getting us everything that we needed to get to the finish line with this fiscal year 2024 audit. We've had some extensive conversations. I know Buffy, Steve, and Abby, myself, hours long on all the management letter recommendations that we've made and some of the areas for improvement moving into fiscal year 2025 and beyond. So Lauterbach and Amon is very excited to see some of that positive traction happen, and we're willing to be a partner in that equation. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of those things improve for fiscal year 2025. I am excited to report that the fiscal year 2025 audit will begin here in September, so we'll work to get back on track here before we know it. Now, at the conclusion of our audit process, we issue 4 pieces of required communication. You may have 2 or 3 of them in front of you tonight. No worries, just follow along. The first of which is what we call our SAS 114 letter. In accordance with Statement on Auditing Standard number 114, we are required to state whether or not we had any disagreements or difficulties that we had encountered during our audit process. And although we've had obviously a delayed audit process, things like that, that letter is specific to financial reporting difficulties or disagreements. So in the body of that letter, you will find no such disagreements or difficulties noted. In accordance with Statement on Auditing Standard number 115, we are required to communicate in a one-page letter whether or not we had any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses that we had identified in our audit process. Material weaknesses being the more pervasive, severe of the two. We did have significant deficiencies for fiscal year 2024 as it relates to the amount of auditor proposed journal entry or corrections that we made as part of our fiscal year 24 process. We had upwards of $2.6 million of adjustments to your financial statements. So, moving on to the annual financial report. My job tonight is to summarize some of the more important information within these 100-plus pages here. I will be the first to admit that sometimes the financial statements can be quite gruesome, so I'll do my best to, again, simplify this for you tonight. Beginning with page 1. Page 1 is what we call our independent auditor's report. This is undeniably the most important section within your audit process. Our job as your auditors is to ensure that we are relying on your internal control environment for the sake of generating an opinion on the financial statements. For the year ended March 31st, 2024, we have issued what is known as an unmodified opinion, which is, believe it or not, the cleanest form of opinion that any governmental entity can receive. And what that ultimately states is that we as your auditors believe the financial statements are presented fairly in all material aspects. Obviously, in our management letter, we have several recommendations on improvement areas, but our job as your auditors is to ensure that we're auditing the facts as they stand as of the balance sheet date. So, what that means is we perform a series of calculations to determine what is material to the financial statements and what does materially correct mean. So I'm happy to report that after the $2.6 million of journal entries that we've proposed, we now believe the financial statements are materially correct as of March 31st, 2024. Moving on, I'd like to point out page 5. I know we're working with outdated financial information here, so I'm just as excited to see what 3/31/25 looks like as you are. But obviously for tonight's presentation, we're solely focused on fiscal year 24. Page 5 begins what we call our management's discussion and analysis. I oftentimes like to point this section out to members of the board because it gives you a really good narrative overview of the fiscal year. I had alluded to this already, but sometimes the financial statements are very, very complicated to digest and understand, the different columns for the different funds, the different bases of accounting. So I oftentimes will point this section out here. I think you'll walk away with a really good bird's eye view of fiscal year 24, as well as some comparative information with fiscal 23. Now let's turn to page 19. So on page 19, we have our statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. That is a fancy GASB term for our income statement, for our general, road and bridge, permanent road funds, and our non-major or our special levy funds. So the third line up from the bottom there is what we call our net change in fund balance. I'd like to point that out as basically your net revenues or net expenditures for the year, net income, net loss for the respective funds. So for the general fund for fiscal year 24, we had about a $264,000 increase in our overall fund balance. You will see a pretty glaring reduction in our road and bridge fund.
I don't think our page numbers agree with yours.
No.
Yeah.
Page 19.
Page 19 is reconciliation of total fund balance for.
That's strange. Is there additional items in the PDF document maybe that were
Yes.
assigned pages? Ah, that's why.
So give us the title.
Yes, it's the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance.
Page 20.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's not your fault.
All right.
264,000.
Yes, yep, 264,000 increase in our overall general funds fund balance for fiscal year 24, ending the year with just about 2.157 million in accumulated fund balance. Now, the road and bridge fund was an area of emphasis on a lot of our extensive conversations because it's clear that there's a reducing fund balance in this fund. We have a deficit fund balance at the end of the year just over 1.5 million. Whereas its counterpart, our permanent road fund, has a $3.768 million positive fund balance. So we really emphasized, sure.
In our levies, do we have a separate levy for road and bridge and permanent road, or is that discretionary?
Separate levies.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Yep, so we had a lot of discussion on what we can do to correct this. We believe that maybe the Road and Bridge Fund has been kind of eating some costs that could have been allocable to other funds, and therefore what we'll do is correct this with a transfer from permanent road or general after that assessment of any expenditures that should have gone in the other respective funds that happens. So we're excited to correct that for the fiscal year 25 audit process as well. Now, the last piece of required communication that we issue is what we call our management letter. That is oftentimes my least favorite part of my presentations to boards, but nonetheless, it's an important one. So the primary purpose of this document is going to be to convey matters sort of outside of the scope of the audit. This can include any internal control recommendations, best practices that we see across some of the other townships that we audit, and any upcoming accounting pronouncements that might have an impact on the township's financial position. So we did have 2 current recommendations as a result of the fiscal year 2024 audit process, and we had, bear with me, 4 prior recommendations as well that were issued in fiscal 23 or prior. And what we do is we issue status updates each year indicating whether or not that comment has been implemented, what our recommendation actually is, and how we can go about a corrective action plan for those comments. So not going to spend too much time dwelling on those comments tonight because, like I said, we have had some really great conversation with the new administration on the corrective actions for those moving forward. And I just wanted to conclude with, again, a special thank you to Abby because when she came on board, it was life-changing for us. We were getting everything that we needed in a timely fashion. She was very responsive to all of our requests, and again, our firm is really excited for the trajectory that we're heading on with all things audit. So happy to field any questions, comments, or concerns.
Any discussion or questions? Okay.
Very good.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion then to approve the 2023-2024 fiscal year audit. It's been prepared by an independent auditor, Lauterbach and Amon, excuse me. This audit covers the fiscal year prior to the current administration taking office. The audit is being signed by me in my capacity as the statutorily designated treasurer of the town funds for Milton and the ex officio treasurer of the road district. I do want to state publicly and for the record, however, I am without sufficient information to make any representations as to the specific contents of this audit. So, I would entertain the motion as just stated. I need a first and second.
I so move.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? I really want to thank the firm. We need a vote of ayes.
Or roll
We
call.
have to do a roll.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call. I love when you all know this and I don't. All right, I'm following. Roll call, clerk.
Okay, Trustee Siemer.
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Fitz.
Yes.
Trustee McGowen.
Yes.
Okay. And Supervisor Higgins-Beard.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Take care, everyone.
All
See
right.
you here before I know.
We are running a little long tonight. Thank you for your patience with us. The next item on our agenda is regarding a selection of forensic auditors. This is a campaign promise from many of us up here that we wanted to take the time to look into the finances from fiscal year 20 through 25 to be sure that the books are absolutely in full order. This does differ from an annual audit, and for reasons far too great to go into here, I'm actually going to turn that discussion over to Trustee Siemer, who is a CPA and professionally spent all of his career worrying about this issue. So if you could explain briefly what a forensic audit is, and then secondly, discuss who you'd like to recommend for selection.
A forensic audit is basically they're going to go back the last 5 years and probably based on my discussions with them, as an example, run extracts on QuickBooks, try to verify that all of the expenses have the appropriate documentation. One of the reasons we're going back to 2020 is a lot of COVID money flowed through here, and we just want to make sure. They may have handed out gift cards. I know they handed out gift cards, and whether they kept track of them or not, and if they didn't, that's the way it is. But at least we'll know and have a better idea. When I was running, and I went back and looked at all the supervisor annual statements, they were kind of, I'll put it gently, all over the place. year-end balances didn't equal beginning balances, and numbers would move around. And so I suggested back then we need to come in and kind of level set the whole place and figure out where we are. And to that end, I think as soon as we got elected, I created a request for proposal, and I'm the kind of person who will go out and find somebody who's done it before me and use that. So I took the Wheaton, City of Wheaton audit list that they sent their audit request out for the next 5 years as my basis for who we should contact. We contacted 6 of them, 2 returned, Baker Tilly and Sikich. Sikich is actually the auditor for the City of Wheaton. They came in with a justifiable price. I've had a couple conversations with them, and my recommendation is we go to Sikich and Company for the forensic audit, and it's actually going to be their fraud examiners who are going to do it, which is good, because a lot of the CPA firms that have big governmental books are all really busy right now. So these are not people who are going to be hung up doing the City of Wheaton audit or Glen, Ellyn, or the myriad number of schools, townships, and municipalities that have 630 year ends. So it's a big advantage to have fraud examiners rather than their regular township staff. So my recommendation, and I don't know if I can just make the motion, I want to make a motion that we approve the selection of Sikich and Company at a rate of $35,000 to do the forensic audit for the years 20 to 24.
That's a first. Do we have a second?
Or 20 to 25, I'm sorry.
20 to 25. Do we have a second? Second. Trustee McGrath, discussion. I will add my 2 cents that, so an annual audit is about $13,000. This is a very reasonable fee, I think, for us to look backwards and make sure that things are in order. The other quote, if I remember correctly, was $86,000. So I think we're going with the right vendor, and I'm very excited to get to a point that we can just roll ahead.
And I think the other good thing about them is because they're not just township, municipality, government entity auditors, they're not going to be. The problem with us trying to find somebody to do a regular audit at this time of year is all of their good people are on existing clients. So when you try to jam in, I worked for consulting firms for 12 years, right? You try to jam in, you don't get the best. You get the people that are sitting on the bench who can't find a spot in the organization. So this is a much better approach for us as far as these people being more certified fraud examiners than CPAs and involved in the municipality practice for them. Did I answer your question? I don't know if I did.
You did? Any other discussion?
No.
All right.
All right, Trustee Siemer.
I think I'm on it.
Yeah, okay. Trustee Pitts.
Yes.
Trustee McGowen.
Yes.
Okay, and Supervisor
Higgins-Beard. Aye.
So Buffy, I'll set up a meeting with
Great.
them for next week for you and I.
Great. All right, in new business, we have 3 items. The first is just simply a discussion. It is required that annually we post these meetings. They're open, they're available to the public. This meeting has typically happened on a Tuesday night, and what you may not be aware of is the entire food pantry is actually torn apart in order for us to sit here for this evening, and then it's put all back together again on Wednesday morning because the food pantry runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the morning. For that reason, I started a discussion with the trustees about if we could move to a different regular meeting time. I personally also know I've been accepted to the University of Chicago in a fellowship. It's called a Leaders in Society Initiative. It's pretty cool. But anyhow, I am literally going to be a student on Tuesday nights for 7 times in the next 4 years. So for that small reason, I also wondered if we could look at a move. So I wanted to ask the group, and I would like to acknowledge we're also hopeful to have the commissioner and the assessor here at these regular meetings. If we could consider second or fourth Thursdays or second Mondays as our regular meeting time, which would go into effect starting in September. This is a discussion, so we're not voting on it, just wanting to hear people's thoughts, and then we would vote next month. If there is a change, we would post that for the public with at least 30 days.
I suggest Monday. The food pantry doesn't operate on Mondays, and I think most people will be available. I don't know about the highway commissioner.
I have conflict conflicts on Mondays for
Okay.
library board as an example. So.
Okay. How are Thursdays looking? Second or fourth Thursdays?
Second Thursday would be okay. Fourth is a problem.
For several of us, yes. Okay.
Second Thursday's fine for me.
I think then with the structure of the meeting, I will follow up with the commissioner and assessor. This is just a discussion. We'll return to it next month. Thank you for that. All right, moving on. We have 2 resolutions ahead of us. I would like to entertain a motion. It's a pretty lengthy resolution to approve Resolution R25007, adopting a policy for payment and ratification of reoccurring township expenses. If I could entertain that motion, I'll tell you more about why. A first?
Second.
Second, thank you. What this does in simple language is it allows us to e-pay some bills, standard bills. It will allow us to avoid late fees and penalties. It could allow us to prevent interruption of services. We every once in a while get a call saying, hey, we haven't gotten your check that you approved at the meeting that had to go in the mail. It also is in compliance with the Illinois Prompt Payment Act. Examples of things that could be included are our Comcast bill, our gas bill. This is just like at your house. We're trying to put some things on auto pay so that our accountant, who's been mentioned often tonight, Abby, is a happier person, and we will sign less checks as a result. So, is there any further discussion on the bill?
I just have a quick point. This is better than writing checks for internal controls. It posts right to our account. It makes it a lot easier for Abby. I mean, the goal should be, in my opinion, to write as few checks as possible out of this place.
Lean, mean township machine?
Yeah, I meant it when I said it. So, this is the way business gets done today. So I think we're catching up.
Any other discussion? We have a first and a second. A vote by
We have
roll call.
So, Trustee Siemer, what do you say?
I'm a yes.
Okay, Trustee Pitts.
Yes.
Okay, Trustee McGrath. McGowen, I'm sorry. One of those mixed. And Supervisor Higgins-Beard.
Aye. Wonderful. The motion passes. All right. Lastly, an approval of Resolution 2025-R008, appointing a Freedom of Information Officer. This is just a voice vote. We do have a full resolution, and not to give away the big mystery here, but we'd like to appoint Township Clerk Dan Bailey as our FOIA officer. Could I have a first?
Second.
Pitts, McGowan, and then just a voice vote. Any discussion? Okay. Do the ayes have it? Vote?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, the motion passes.
Okay.
All right, last is our adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we're adjourned. All in favor?